our Vegas fantasy. It's not what you think. No. Hi, how are you?
Hey.
Is that not the absolute worst theme song in the history of man right there?
I expected more from you, Kenny.
Thank you. That's what I'm glad, right?
You know, you can't win all the time.
No, no, clearly we can't, and we're going to be talking about this week. Hello, so now my name's Kenny Davidsen, and this is Our Vegas Fantasy, and you did not hear the voice of Christina Shaw. No, you heard two male voices because it takes two men to replace our friend Christina Shaw, who is in Philadelphia this week in her hometown. But we have, to my left from these guys worldwide, Thomas Nanthavongdouangsy.
Hey, got it right.
I got it right. How about that? I'm the only person. If you ever wondered what Thomas's last name was, that's how you pronounce it, Nanthavongdouangsy.
Yep.
And a much easier name to my right, Steve Weiss.
You nailed it.
I nailed it.
Got it.
And we are all in a fantasy league together, and we worship this. This is our livelihood for the next.
I never thought about it like that. It's really sad.
Yeah.
Right?
I worship fantasy football.
Well, let's we already know about my 24 leagues. How many leagues are you in, Tom?
I am in 5.
You're in 5, and Steve's in
7
leagues. And how did you do this week, Tom?
I am 5-0 this week.
Oh my God, get out
That's
of here!
like a unicorn. That doesn't happen.
No.
I'm just good at what I do, I guess.
What's
whoever
your-
I'm playing.
Yeah,
isn't
get a
that
lotto
good.
ticket this week too, because
What's
That's
your worst
luck.
team? What's your worst record?
My worst record, I believe, is 2-1.
Damn.
what?
Yeah.
Did you only draft the same players and it's just
No,
Mike Evans?
I
and,
think I have one player that's across the board on all my teams.
Who's
That's
that?
Mahomes, right?
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's
Yep.
That helps.
It's not a bad guy to have.
No, number one quarterback on all 5 teams. And Steve, what are you doing?
I was 3-4 this week.
Okay, so what are your teams? What are you ranging?
I have one 3-0. I have one 0-3, and then a mix of
And a
1
mix.
and 2 and 2 ones.
All right.
I think more one. I think I calculated that. So 7 teams, 3 weeks. It should be 21. A total of 21 games, right?
Right,
I think
yeah.
I'm 10-11, so
All right.
I'm below 500.
You're below 500. I'm below 500. I had my worst week yet. I went 10-14 in my 24 leagues this week. I should be banned. Why are you listening to this show when the host goes 10-14?
It's so sad. I feel like there's an inverse relationship between the amount of time you put into it and your actual record. That's what
Yeah.
it seems like.
Unless you're me.
Do you spend a lot of time researching and stuff?
I do. You got to.
Start Patrick Mahomes. You'd spend a lot of time studying?
Yeah. No, I like Patrick Mahomes from last year. Like,
when he started one game?
yeah, but when you watch him preseason and he's throwing the ball as well as he's throwing the ball,
Yeah.
the Chiefs didn't have that last year with Alex Smith. But
Can
they
he
do.
keep it up the rest of the season?
I think he can. I think he's matchup proof. Honestly, with that high-powered offense,
You know what really helps? Their defense is so bad.
that too.
So he
Yeah,
will continue to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Well, let's see how they do this week, finally against a decent defense in Denver. Not a great defense anymore, but a decent defense.
Yeah, because
on
they're
Monday
not the
night.
Denver of the past.
No,
They should-
this is the first time he's faced a team that can actually maybe, hit him.
Yeah.
They
And
should
so-
put pressure on him, and
Yeah.
he'll make worse decisions, I think.
Let's see.
This will be his first test for sure.
Let's see if he throws a couple interceptions.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have a keep to leave anymore. But
Let's
Yeah.
see if Tom loses this week.
oh,
That'd be great.
Well, I
let's
just
see.
checked my
That's-
records, and of the 5 teams, I've only lost 1 game.
Wow.
Jesus, you're 5, so 15,
He's
14 and 1.
Yeah, 14 and
Yeah.
1 through 3 weeks.
Yeah. So, by the way, we are, as we do every week, we are recording at The Space on Polaris and Harmon, Cavaretta Court that Mark Chinook created. It's this great performance space where Monday's Dark is. And you are hearing the lovely sounds of Chadwick Johnson, who's doing a show here later on tonight. So that's what you hear in the background. But there's always a lot of entertainment in this room. Yeah. But we are here, and we're doing this tonight. Let's talk about some of the great stuff that's still going on. Drew Brees, still keeping that going, right?
Oh, yeah.
Drew
Oh,
Brees
he's
is
telling.
Drew Brees.
I wish I had drafted him more. I have him once.
I don't even have him.
That's because you
Well, it's
only
'cause
have
you have
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Well, I had Mahomes' second quarterback for all my leagues because I believed
he
in
was
him
your
this year.
backup,
Yeah, he was
yeah.
my backup, and then now he's my starter.
Yeah. Well, Breeze is playing on a team with a worse defense and still no Mark Ingram. Now, what happens when Ingram gets back and if they start controlling ball games more, if Breeze needs to throw it this way? We'll find out. That's something to look in the future. We'll see what happens.
Well, it doesn't
there.
hurt that he has Mr. Consistent, Michael Thomas,
No.
catching,
that's crazy.
what is it, 38 of 40 right now?
He's on pace to break the record.
Yeah. Like, it's
for catches in a
ridiculous.
season. How about that?
You know what his like Twitter handle is? Instagram?
What is his Instagram?
Can't guard Mike.
I love it.
It's pretty cool.
Clearly.
Apparently not.
Damn.
Just like Tyreek Hill. I think he just changed his, but it used to be faster than yeah. I think he changed it. Now it's just Cheetah.
Cheetah?
Tyreek Hill on social media is Cheetah.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, Tyreek Hill didn't do much this week.
no, he was kind of a bust this week.
You know, that's going to be a rough, not a rough offense, but it's going to be a tough offense to predict.
Yeah.
Mahomes might be consistent, but, you know, Hunt, you don't know when he's going to come
Hunt's
through.
not catching any passes.
No, they're not
It's
throwing it
driving
to
me
him.
insane.
Again, let's see if that's game plan
Maybe this is the
dependent.
week,
Maybe
yeah.
this is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
week they have to
Yeah.
throw. They have to screen pass,
But it's
and
still,
maybe they have to play
it's
from
still an
behind.
Andy Reid team, though, and he's always historically been like a running back.
Yeah,
kinda
but
coach,
I mean,
right?
they have Kelsey running the middle. I mean,
Yeah.
top 3 tight end.
No, and when's the last time Andy Reid had a quarterback like this? Probably Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he
that's
finally has a real
comparison.
quarterback that he doesn't need to do dink and dunk like Alex Smith
Yeah.
was doing.
Oh, so you're saying eventually Mahomes will start to blow it, just like McNabb.
Well, I mean, Andy Reid might.
He'll start throwing it at the feet of his receivers. It'll be great.
Oh, okay.
Coming
Perfect
from the
pass.
Eagles fan.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Weiss is an Eagle fan, if you can't tell. A self-deprecating Eagles fan, even though they won a title last year.
Self-deprecating. That's just part of the description of an Eagles fan.
No, there you go.
We're honest.
A deprecating
Eagles fans
fan.
are
An honest
When the
Eagles
team
fan.
sucks, we boo them.
You guys
We throw batteries.
You guys boo everything. You guys booed a dog for missing a frisbee at a halftime.
Why didn't he catch it? Took his eye off it. Stupid dog.
How about Matty Ice? You know?
I don't trust Matt Ryan.
No?
No.
What's up?
He's like I don't have stats in front of me, but like how often? Well, he's never thrown 5 touchdowns before. That was the franchise record.
Franchise record.
Yeah.
I wonder. He's definitely thrown 3 and 4 before. I wonder how he follows them up. I think he's just like a up and down kind of quarterback.
I mean, yeah, but with the emergence of Calvin Ridley
yeah.
now,
You think
where
he's gonna
3 of those touchdowns went to last week.
Yeah.
But I don't care who you are. I don't see you repeating 3 touchdowns
Nope.
throughout the season, you know?
But Calvin Ridley is definitely a pickup this week,
Yeah.
right?
I wish
If he's available, he's not available in a lot of leagues right
Yeah.
now. He's been taken. I think out of the 24 leagues I'm in, he was available in 2.
But how do you feel about rookie wide receivers in general?
It's a different year. Normally you say no, but this year all those rules go out the window. This year the rookie running backs stink, except for Barkley.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's a different year. There are quarterbacks putting up video game numbers this year.
Yeah.
The offense.
And
Offenses are
even
across the
the
board.
rookie quarterbacks are doing well.
Right.
It's like if you drafted a rookie quarterback, well, of course you got to draft a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
But if you drafted a quarterback this year, you might as well put him in.
Absolutely.
Because,
Well, they're all getting playing
Yeah.
time now.
Absolutely
Yeah.
right. No.
Wait, have they all?
no, what's his name?
Lamar Jackson?
Lamar. Well, he's been lined
But
up.
he's played, though, yeah.
And Mason Rudolph hasn't gotten because he's behind Ben, but that doesn't,
Yeah.
that was expected. But now the other 4 are all going to be the starting
Yeah.
quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So yeah, rookie wide receivers, which we normally do not bother with because there's one a year that emerges. Like 2 years ago it was Michael Thomas, last year it was Juju.
Yeah.
But for the most part, rookie wide receivers are not reliable in
what?
fantasy. But this year, you got loads out there. You've got some serious people out there, and you're still waiting on DJ Moore, who hasn't produced. I don't know if he's in the offense.
And they have a
that
bye
will-
this week, right?
Yeah, I don't think he's in an offense that's going to lend him to produce. But Ridley is for real.
And it's weird. Julio still hasn't scored a touchdown.
No, well, that goes back now several years.
Well, now it's like not even a surprise. It's like he's
No,
just not a touchdown.
he's just there for
scorer.
catches and yards,
Yeah.
and he just doesn't get the pay dirt.
Yeah.
But that's a big reason why Ridley scored, because I'm sure they got the number 1 corner is on Julio.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, and doubled all the time. I mean, that's how it goes.
I started really in one league because I was desperate.
Yeah.
And it paid off.
You had to.
And
Did
I
you
had the
win
top.
that one?
I had the top score in the league.
40
in that
points,
league.
man.
Yeah,
What
he
you-
was he was outstanding. And so how about back from the dead? Last week we buried this man in fantasy. He was not injured. We usually only buried the injured, but we buried him because so much was hoped. And then this week, of course, in 1 quarter he goes off. Jordy Nelson, back
Oh.
from the dead.
Jordy
And
Nelson.
he'll go right back to the grave.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sure.
So you're not picking him up?
I mean, he should be picked up
I'm not
and
gonna
stashed,
play
I think. Because with me, I'm tempering expectations. Because I don't want to play the game of, is it going to be Jordy this week?
Yeah.
Is it going to be Cooper this week? Is it going to be Jared Cook this week? I don't know what's happening on the Raiders right now. So
And that is like a recipe for disaster
Yeah.
in fantasy, right?
It is. Yeah, I was on Jordy in a lot of leagues. I grabbed him and I cut him in almost every league but one. And I'm not in a hurry.
No.
I don't expect this because you're right. It's not an offense that seems to hold two wide receivers consistently, as opposed to maybe 20 offenses in this league where you actually can look at two wide receivers and they're viable. But I don't think the Raiders. I don't trust anything about the Raiders. I've kind of bailed on the Raiders as much as I possibly
we're in
can.
agreement there. Because if you trust Jordy further, that means you're trusting Derek Carr.
Yeah.
And I believe he's averaging like 11 points a game or something for a quarterback. That's horrible.
However, Derek Carr is second in the AFC in yards. Passing yards. Derek Carr, it's strictly a red zone issue, and it's an interceptions issue, which is usually not his problem.
I think he's first in interceptions.
He's first in interceptions. I can't quit Derek Carr. I've always loved Derek Carr.
I can't quit you.
I can't quit him. I'm a Carr fan. I have been, always have been.
I'll root for him when he comes to Vegas.
Yeah. And he's going to be our quarterback for a long time in this city.
I think he's got like the pedigree. He seems composed and he says the right things in interviews. I think that kind of stuff actually does kind of indicate what's going to happen on the field. Like I think he has a long career ahead of him.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I think this first year with Gruden, though, is not. I don't see the Raiders coming back and making the playoffs.
Oh, no.
I mean, when
They're
you got the
0-3,
man
right?
cutting Khalil Mack
Yeah.
and then making the comment of, it's very hard to find a pass rusher in this league. I don't think he knows what he's doing yet.
No.
Yeah, I really wonder what happened behind the scenes there because clearly something happened.
It
reminds me of when Bobby Valentine came back in baseball and when Ditka came back. And, I mean, they're just – it's not his time. It's
it's a different game.
It's a different game. No, and different offensive schemes.
Yeah.
One more.
Cooper sucks too. Amari Cooper. He just doesn't he's not good at catching the ball. He needs to just like go out and practice.
He is the most temperamental wide receiver because one week he'll look amazing, and then you'll play that, and then you'll hope for it the next week. Then he'll drop the ball. Then you're like, oh, it was just a bad week, so you put him starting again the third week, and then he repeats the bad, and you're just like,
I wonder if it's like mental issues because what do they say? It's like between his ears is the issue.
They do say that.
Like he's losing his focus or something. Like I didn't watch that game, but like I've heard like the balls just go through his hands. Like he like
one of them
catches.
went right through his hands this week.
Yeah, well, like, dude, you're the number one on an NFL team.
yeah.
Come on, there's no excuse.
How about so we have a regular game this week, not just this week, for all season. Which Rams wide receiver produced?
Seriously.
And this week it was Robert Woods.
Yeah.
Man,
Who
all of them really?
They're all producing. It's just who's going to get in the end zone.
Yeah.
And the one who hasn't gotten in the end zone yet is Cooks. Out of all people, if you can believe that, but he will.
Yeah.
Cooks is going to probably leave them in yards.
Yeah.
And so you've got, I believe 9 targets a game for all of them.
Yeah.
All 3 of them. I mean, they're all viable. It's just a matter of, it's going to you're playing pinball as to which one's actually going to produce week to week.
But let's say you just need like 10 points from someone. You just need a high floor. You could easily pick any of them.
Any one of
them. Yeah.
Any one of them.
If you need a flex play for the week, definitely any one of them.
I actually played Cup this week in a league.
Yeah.
I think I would have won that one anyway, but he ended up scoring a long touchdown. I was
did.
like, there we go.
Yep. So listen, it's great to have a team like the Rams. It's nice to have a team where it seems like there's not a lot of ancillary fantasy producers. It seems like in the Rams, it's 4 people. It's Woods, Kupp, Cooks, Gurley.
Yeah.
And obviously the quarterback.
Yeah.
Tampa. I mean, Humphreys had a couple catches last night, and we don't know what Barber is or anything. But in terms of wide receivers,
trash.
It's Evans, Godwin, and then once every 4 or 5 games it'll be Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
Right. And OJ Howard.
Yeah. And
I think the Bucs are actually a little more difficult though because they have a lot of mouths to feed. And then Cameron Brate scored a touchdown too.
He did score a touchdown,
which sucked because I had OJ Howard and he led.
I didn't realize how much of a physical specimen OJ Howard is.
Oh yeah,
He's
his
like
spark scores were like upper echelon.
He's a
like,
massive
it was crazy.
human being.
Yeah.
And speaking of Deshaun Jackson, it's time for our next segment, Who Crapped the Bed? Who crapped the bed? Did you crap the bed? Did I crap the bed? Did she crap the bed? We all want to know who crapped the bed. Crap the bed! I have Thomas from These Guys, Mr. Harmonizer. We need drums on this, Steve.
Okay, next time.
Next time. Yes.
Do you watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
I do not.
Oh, there's an episode titled "Who Pooped the Bed."
Is that where that phrase comes from?
Oh, I don't think
I
they
don't think
invented
so.
that.
Yeah.
I think Danny DeVito just came up with a funny idea where he poops in the bed.
It was one of these phrases the last few years, and I just know from fantasy. I mean, they talk about it in fantasy all the time.
Yeah.
It's become like the fantasy catchphrase.
Crap the bed.
Or well, it's a different word, but we won't say that. We're trying to keep things clean.
Is there no profanity on this?
Apparently there's not. Yeah. You know, we'll see.
Oh, raspberries.
Yeah. Deshaun Jackson became Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
Once every few games. So he does 2 games in a row, and everybody thinks now, oh, we're going to get Deshaun Jackson. Well, what do you do? Nothing. He's week to week. That's how it is.
Yeah.
With Deshaun Jackson, that's been his whole career, and that's not changing.
Unless he plays against the Eagles. He loves those rivalry
he's a
games.
Former Eagle.
Yeah.
Man, he was electric when he was on the Eagles. I
Oh,
loved
yeah.
him. I was in the Eagles drum line. We used to play at the
Yeah.
games and stuff, and Deshaun would always come over to us and like just do some dancing and stuff. He was just such a. I mean, I don't know what he was like in the locker room, but he would always kind of give us like a head nod and a pound, and it was just made us feel good because like he's the star on the team and he comes over and salutes us. It's like
That's pretty awesome.
it's really cool.
You heard it here first. Deshaun Jackson is a cool guy.
Yeah, he is.
good to
But
know.
he's pretty old, isn't he?
He's
I
been
mean,
around a long
that was
time.
like
He's old
before
for football. He's not old, but
But that's before I ever moved to Vegas. Like that was close to 10 years ago.
He's been playing. He's got to be 10 years in the league now. I didn't even check.
Yeah.
It's been a
Old
long
man
time.
Jackson.
Old man Jackson. And he'll have a game every now and then, but I wouldn't. You can't play him because the one week you play him, he'll do nothing, and then you won't play him, and he'll go off.
But that really is the blueprint of a deep threat like that.
Yeah.
Same thing with Ted Ginn. It's like they're essentially the same player.
Mike Wallace too.
Mike-
Same
Yeah.
guy.
Well, not Mike Wallace anymore.
Not in this year.
But did
yeah.
Deshaun get a concussion or something?
But he played. He had. I think that he had a
week
concussion.
one,
but it was
yeah.
week 1, and that was and he came back the next week. So, what do you do with Chris Hogan?
That's.
I'm this close to dropping him completely because
I think he was the single player I was highest on.
Yeah.
Beginning before.
me
the
too, and because of the suspension.
What
to
about
Edelman.
Mahomes?
What?
What about Mahomes?
All right, you want here's my take on Chris Hogan. I'm buying low.
Yeah, pick him up.
I'm buying low because when they get their weapons, first of all, these are the New England Patriots. They always kind of stink in September. This is really bad. But there was a year they lost 31-0 to Buffalo, and I think they won the Super Bowl that year. When Edelman comes back, which is week 5,
Yeah.
and then, hopefully Gordon's they don't have a deep threat. This is the biggest problem on this team is they don't have a deep threat. Brandon Cooks, he was frustrating for us as fantasy players because he was week to week as a Patriot. You didn't know what was going to happen. But he's still 1,000 yards. And they don't have a 1,000-yard
he's a
receiver
great
on that
football
team.
player.
They're relying on Josh Gordon to be that 1,000-yard receiver this year. That's a big if.
You know what I read that's really cool? Josh Gordon's locker in the locker room adjacent to Tom Brady's.
That's pretty cool. Well, Josh Gordon has number 12 tattooed on his back, so I guess you can say
yeah.
it's an homage to Brady, right?
That's funny. But they're making sure that like he's close to the man, and they keep him on the straight and narrow.
No, and this is his last shot. And if
for
there's one
sure,
team
for
he
sure.
can succeed on, it's the Patriots.
This is what the Patriots do.
Now you get Edelman back, and Chris Hogan's not facing your top corner every week because Chris Hogan's he's not a world beat talent. He's just not that guy.
No.
But you put him on an offense where he's got other people that are covered better. I think Hogan's going to break out. I do. I would hold him. I'd be patient. I would wait until their offense is complete, and then if he still stinks, obviously you cut him.
Yeah.
But I'm actually waiting on him. The 3 leagues I have him, I'm keeping him. And if I've got a tradable piece that I don't want, and somebody wants to hand me Chris Hogan, you got it.
Yeah,
I'll do
eventually Gronk will get hurt, and
yeah,
then
you want somebody. If somebody's foolish enough to take Jamal Williams off my hand, I'll take Chris Hogan for you. Not a problem. Not a problem one bit. I'll take a shot with that.
sure.
Yeah, why not? Okay. I think it's worth it.
I have a whole bunch of shares of him. I'll trade him to you.
Really? Let's talk.
Not for
for
Jamal Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, your first trade here on our Vegas Fantasy. Me and Steve Weiss.
I like trading.
Yeah.
I think people they don't trade well. That's worth maybe not this second,
Well, we
but
can
talking
talk
about
later on. We're
going to
talk about it because it's trade
It's
time.
like it's a whole philosophy that people just don't get.
No, it's time. Also, you have to start making moves,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
trading is really a great way to help your team. Yeah. How about here's another guy. What do you do with him? Corey Davis. Yep.
Just shaking
and
her
the
head.
silence is deafening, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
I mean, I had no hopes for him. He had a good playoff game last year, right?
Yeah.
He's a target hound, but
You
he's
know
not-
what? He doesn't have a quarterback.
Well, he's got a quarterback with a nerve damage.
Yeah.
Who, Mariota?
Yeah.
Oh.
And even their coach said he can't throw everything that
Right.
he was able to before.
Yeah.
And I thought Gabbert's starting for them, right?
Well, Gabbard got hurt this
Yep.
week. He got hurt in the first series.
And Mariota came in.
And Mariota came in and played the game
That's
with one
why,
arm.
okay.
And then they beat the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Doesn't make this football is crazy.
Football's weird, right? The
Any
Titans
given
won that
Sunday.
game.
Yeah, the Titans are 2-1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Titans.
I have pretty low hopes for
I
them.
believe they're getting your Eagles this week. Am I right? Did I get that right?
I can't remember offhand.
Well, somebody's gonna look that up.
I told you I didn't. Oh, this is before the podcast started.
Yeah.
I've ignored football today because
They do. They have the
I was
Eagles
just
this week.
upset from last night, and I
Yeah.
just said, you know what?
I get it.
I need to focus
I
on the
can't-
rest
you
of
see,
life for a
You
minute.
can't ignore Tuesday though. Tuesday's your waiver wire day.
Oh, tonight-
you
yeah,
know,
I'll get back in
yeah,
tonight.
So that's it. But Corey Davis is a problem. I don't know what you do with him because
His
he's not going to
ADP
produce unless his quarterback gets healthy. If his quarterback is healthy, he's a target hound.
Yeah.
And there's nobody else on that team that's catching balls. Delaney Walker's not there anymore.
No.
I don't know why he was drafted so highly though.
Because he came on late in the playoff game. He's the only guy on that offense.
Yeah.
And was a great talent in college. So he was
Yeah.
drafted pretty high. I don't have him in a lot of places, thank goodness.
I don't have him.
But I don't know
anywhere.
what you do if you have him. He's a
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's the Titans in general. I just kind of stay away from.
I think at this point,
I have Deion Lewis and Derrick Henry a little bit, but it's actually Deion Lewis.
first game Deion Lewis is great, and then the last two he's been nothing.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, there's the inconsistency we were talking about at quarterback, so
Yeah.
you can't really rely.
Let's touch on a few of these ones quickly. They're coming with the Keenan Allen. I think he'll be fine. You know,
Yeah, although
If
what's
he's
his name?
if
Mike-
he's healthy.
But then
Yeah.
the whole Mike Williams thing. I mean, he looked great this week.
Mike Williams did look great.
he did look great. I buy low on Keenan Allen. If somebody wants to give you
Oh,
Keenan
for
Allen,
sure. Hey,
But-
you want to trade me, Keenan? I agree with you. I'm
want
also
Keenan Allen?
no. Yes, I do, and I'm not trading it.
oh, see, there you go. I just made an offer for him in one
But
week.
he
That's
cannot
actually a
stay
good-
healthy.
that's
I
good.
feel like he gets hurt every year.
Well,
Not
he didn't
last
get
year.
hurt last year. The thing with Keenan Allen is wait until Wednesday, see what the injury is. If it's probably not a big injury, we would have heard about it by now.
Yeah.
I think he was just shaking his leg off. Make sure he's all right.
Yeah.
But I buy low. If somebody wants to trade him to you.
Yeah, he's such a monster.
He's
Yeah.
a monster when he wants to be. Obviously, Stephon Diggs had a bad week, but come on, that's
What?
Minnesota went
What
to
happened?
I don't know. Minnesota
was-
disappeared.
Minnesota's offensive line is bad. It's not decent. It's bad. It's bottom 5 in the league. So
they have to
Buffalo
address that.
Buffalo sends guys in, and
So they
Cousins
just they just
flops.
game planned well.
They were not prepared for
That's
the
got
pass rush.
to that has to be like their worst game of the year though. They have to move up from only go up from there because I still
Well-
think Minnesota's like the Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, but guess what? Thursday night, Los Angeles Rams. Good luck
Yeah.
getting
Yeah,
healthy
okay,
against
this
that
might
team.
be a tough week for them again.
Yeah.
Right.
But the Rams are going to put up points, and then Cousins is a solid quarterback. He's going to throw the ball. They're going to
yeah.
score. You would think they're going to score points.
They'll score points. I'm not worried about Cousins, Diggs, Thielen, even Rudolph. They're all going to put up points on that team.
Yeah.
But Diggs had a bad week. What are you going to do? It's going to happen. We talked about Amari Cooper already, so we'll move on. How about Kenyon
Jesus
Drake?
Christ. This is what makes me want to jump off a bridge.
What do you do if you're Kenyon Drake?
I mean, maybe don't jump off a bridge, but that's
Yeah.
what I'm mulling over.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, do not take Steve Weiss literally. Do not commit suicide because of your fantasy football team.
be like-
Thank you. This is
yeah.
a public service announcement. Kenyon Drake has Adam Gase disease. But here's the stat for the Miami Dolphins. They ran 39 plays this week.
What's the NFL
39.
average? Like
the average
70
you're
or
in the
something?
60s.
Yeah.
You ran 39 plays. I'll bet you this week you'll get them because
You still got to roll them out.
If they play the Patriots pace this week, they're gonna have to run plays, in which Drake will do something this
Yeah.
week.
I mean, he's still the number one on an NFL team, so you have that.
But what if they get down by 3 touchdowns and then they just have to pass it, and then, and then
Maybe
Drake
they
doesn't do
screen-
anything?
Maybe they screen to him. You know,
He does catch some passes.
he catches passes. And Frank Gore, can you just
go away.
Can you retire,
Yeah.
please? Yeah, for us fantasy players, Frank Gore, please.
It's real
you're
sweet,
going
Kenny.
to the Hall of Fame. You had a wonderful career. You're a great player. You're an all-time great player. But, just for our teams, think of us, Frank Gore. Think of our fantasy life when you're thinking about your career.
I can't believe he's still playing. He's pretty old too, right?
He's ancient. He's 90. We've decided on this show that every player that's old is 90.
Oh, okay.
So he's 90 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least 90.
I believe it.
And then how about, we got to mention Philip Lindsay, the running back darling
my.
for the first 2 weeks, decides to be Mike Tyson and didn't work out. How about that? Yeah.
I think I even texted you guys. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Who gets ejected? Like, that doesn't even happen. It's
hilarious.
a rookie?
And he's like 5'8", too,
Yeah.
on top of it, right?
Do you think he will get, not penalized, but like benched or like... I mean, that's a real knucklehead play. How are you going to punch someone?
But it wasn't really punches if you go back and look at it. He was kind of just swinging his arms around.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, here's the thing. They're playing Kansas City Monday night. You know,
Some points
They're going to
scored.
need him.
there's some points available for
But maybe
Phillip
they'll
Lindsay.
lean a little bit more toward Freeman. Royce
Freeman's
Freeman.
not as good. I mean, Lindsay's
I mean,
the
Freeman
talent
scored
there.
touchdowns 2 of the 3 games.
Yeah, but he's
the
a
goal line back,
He's
for
the
sure.
power
Oh,
back.
yeah.
Lindsay's the guy that's going to get them moving.
And Booker just stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, so would you? Let's say you have like Christian McCaffrey or something, someone who's on a bye
He's on a
this
bye.
week.
Yeah.
Would you fire up Philip Lindsay?
Yep. I got one league where my RB2's been Deion Lewis, and that hasn't worked out, and I got Lindsay in that league. It's either Lindsay or Freeman. I'm probably putting Lindsay in that league. I don't have a choice.
Lindsay
I'm not
or
thrilled with
Royce,
it.
or Royce Freeman?
I'm probably going Lindsay. I'm going to read practice reports, see what happens.
Do you guys play in any standard leagues, non-PPR?
I'm in one standard league.
All of mine are PPR.
Yeah. It's funny how that
is
standard is now like
Yeah.
totally not the standard.
no. It's become now you're hearing it called retro league.
Really, I
That's
never
the
heard
name.
that.
Yeah, it's the new. It's the stupidest
Retro
name.
League.
I feel like retro league should be you have to get a newspaper to tally the scores.
Yeah,
Right?
you should. You're right. Absolutely. Standard is boring. I mean, it's
It's
PPR 's
definitely less exciting. For
half,
sure.
half PPR. I'm playing in a lot of half PPR leagues this
Yeah.
year. I'm enjoying that a lot. That's a good mix of. So a guy like Aguilar has like 10 catches for 12 yards. It wasn't
Still
that.
not
It wasn't
that great.
extreme, but it
Yeah.
was that.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. He gives you something because he's obviously a focal point of the offense, but he doesn't give you what he gave you in a PPR league that week.
Yeah.
So it's a good medium. So, all right, waiver wire. Waiver wire this week. We talked about Calvin Ridley. I don't think Calvin Ridley's all that available. Obviously, you're going to go get him.
He'll definitely be the number one acquisition for people this week.
Absolutely, he's going to be the number one. But how about Tyler Boyd?
What's the news on AJ Green?
We don't know yet.
I'm actually targeting Tyler Boyd.
Are you targeting?
That
Tyler
is my
Boyd?
number one for the week.
He's your number one for the week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Because
Sure.
in the last
There's
last
one
2
thing.
weeks,
Go ahead.
he's had 6+ catches for each week.
Yeah.
And then last week he gets 132 yards and a touchdown. That's he's the number 2 receiver, but the number 1 on the outside.
Right. And especially if AJ Green's not playing, then he definitely becomes the number one.
That's an obvious one. The problem is that you have to make that decision on Tuesday night, and you're not going to find out about AJ Green until Wednesday. But there was no news at all on AJ. The word AJ says, "I'll be fine," but when a player says
What was
that,
it? A
who
leg
knows?
injury or like a
Groin.
head injury?
Groin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
And it
groin.
probably because AJ got injured, but last week he played 91% of the snaps.
Yeah.
And then the weeks before, he's roughly about 80% of the snaps. So he's getting the snaps.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think Boyd is. Now we talked about offenses that can sustain 2 wide receivers. Well, there's the Bengals. Bengals usually can't.
Yeah.
But again, we're playing a different game this year with football where so many offenses can sustain 2.
Mm-hmm.
So Boyd becomes viable. Don't sleep on Tyler Eifert if he's out there. I know Tyler Eifert will be hurt by week 5, but you know what?
He'll be good for 2 more weeks.
He'll be good for exactly right.
especially
and-
with the lack of depth there
my
is in
God.
the tight ends
Yep.
this year.
One thing I like that I learned from you, Kenny, is you like to talk about the DNA of teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like some teams just have this characteristic about them, regardless of the year. And the Bengals just have this DNA of just screwing you over.
Yep.
Like
Chargers.
Yeah.
the Chargers
Chargers have a DNA.
They screw themselves over.
Yeah.
The Bengals just whenever you think you know what's going to happen. I mean, that means you're banking on Andy Dalton continuing to be successful. I think it's very plausible Tyler Boyd the next game is 3 catches for 30 yards.
But they have a nice schedule coming up.
They do.
They're playing against, the Steelers, Let me bring it up.
Take a look at that.
Actually, the Steelers are a game you can take advantage
yeah,
of.
well,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Steelers defense is a sieve.
I didn't watch the second half of the game last night, and
Yeah.
I just can't
They
even.
played pretty decently last night. You know, some people streamed Pittsburgh's defense last night because it was up
you
against.
hear me complaining about it?
Yeah, because listen, it's Fitzpatrick.
Oh,
So
yeah, might as well stream them against a
Why
team
not?
that's like killing the league right now.
It's
Why would you
hilarious.
do that? That's stupid.
Yeah, okay, so their next
And
games
then,
are
of course, a pick six.
Atlanta this week
Ooh.
with their defense is decimated.
Yeah,
Yes, they
Atlanta's
are.
just
Yeah.
lost a lot of
They
players.
lost a lot of players.
Then they have Miami, which is okay. They're not great. They're okay.
I think Miami's going to come out to be worse than they seem right now.
And then they have Pittsburgh, who you just saw you could put
Is-
points up against because their defense.
All
You know?
I'm not saying Tyler Boyd's a bad pickup.
Yeah.
I'm just playing devil's advocate a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, I put a couple.
You know, if
I put a
Mixon
couple
comes back,
claims.
could come back this week, right?
Could come back. We don't know about Mixon yet.
Yeah.
That's,
But
that's
Gio
possible.
looked great.
Gio looked
oh
great.
man,
He
I
did.
picked him up a lot.
And
of
against
weeks.
Atlanta, there's some points on the board.
Yeah,
in the
definitely.
Falcons Bengals game.
I would
this
guess
week.
with how well Gio played, they're gonna not rush Mixon back, because I think Mixon, he's like one of those kind of league-winning kind of running backs.
Good point.
He's their goal line guy. He's still gonna catch passes as well.
Yeah.
You know.
So speaking of team DNA, we talked about, I believe in a team DNA, but there's a team in National Football League that has officially changed their DNA as of Thursday night this past week in the second quarter. And the team is the Cleveland Browns, and the name is Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mania.
Baker Mania.
I see where you're going with this. I like very admirable, but you can't change your own DNA.
You can't change your own DNA, but you know what? A player can change your DNA for you. And Baker Mayfield looked like the second coming on Thursday night against the Jets. I know it's the Jets, but they're in Oakland this week. Fire up the Browns.
Every single one of them.
Fire them up this week
Yeah, I
against
guess
the
against
Raiders.
Oakland. Against Oakland, yeah.
Their whole offense gets an uptick just
Does-
because Baker Mayfield's in.
Yeah,
Now-
that's gonna be a fun game to watch.
My favorite type of fantasy league to play is Superflex. I'm playing in, I think, 8 Superflex leagues this year. And in 6 of them, my third quarterback was Baker Mayfield, and he's now viable. And it's good because in 2 of them I lost Garoppolo, which we're going to get to later on.
Here we go.
So I have Mayfield now in a 1 quarterback league. You going after Baker Mayfield this week?
I have that decision because I have Cam in a league who's on bye, so I'm gonna have to pick up somebody.
Okay. What about you, Tom?
I don't have a need for a quarterback right now.
Tom and his love child, Patrick Mahomes.
That's my homies.
I want to see Mayfield. I want to see Mayfield play a couple games, as a starting QB where the other team can game plan against him.
Yeah, I mean,
He's still a rookie. I mean, he has legs. He runs with the ball, right?
Yeah.
he
His
ran.
passing was decidedly better than what's his name?
Tyrod.
But
yeah.
he still kind of threw behind receivers. It's not like he was playing He
Yeah.
breathed a breath of fresh air into the team, but it's the Browns.
But you saw
Let's not
as soon
go
as he
crazy
got-
here.
As soon as he got the go ahead,
Yeah.
the whole team's
The team
energy
picked it up,
changed.
for
like
sure,
it was a 180
absolutely.
from what they were doing with Tyrod.
I don't like his stupid face though. He's a little cocky jerk, you know
Yes,
that, and
he is.
which is cool. He's got
Good.
he's got swagger,
So
but
it's Brady. Cocky jerk. You know what? Best quarterback of all time. GOAT.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Cocky if you can back it up.
Did I say I liked Brady?
Yeah, listen.
Who's the last quarterback to lose a Super Bowl?
Brady.
Exactly.
Wow. Wow. Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, Brady looked great this last weekend,
No,
didn't he?
he did
Oh
not
my
look
God,
good.
he looked
Did not look good.
horrible.
He has no receiving core. He really has no receiving core.
He has Gronk and Hogan.
I'm
He
pretty
had
sure.
nothing.
Actually, I think Baker Mayfield outscored Brady and didn't even start the game.
Absolutely. Yeah, Brady did nothing this week. Mayfield, yeah, just keep an eye. You might not want to wait the extra week. Maybe you
pick him
do, but you might regret that. We'll see what happens.
Callaway.
And with Baker Mayfield comes Antonio Callaway, who was a darling in preseason, who played almost every snap, got 10 targets, would have had a touchdown if Tyrod Taylor didn't suck.
Yep.
You getting Callaway if
Oh,
he's
dude.
available?
Yeah, he's
You
right up
grabbed
there.
him in
Yeah.
one league.
He's right up there with Boyd for me.
Yep. Are you grabbing Callaway, Steve?
Probably not.
All right.
I wouldn't play him. I mean, I want to see it. I would rather be a week late than waste a waiver
I get you.
ad on him.
I understand that.
He's a rookie. He's got also mental issues. I think he's got off the field issues, focus kind of things.
Yeah, and that's the reason
It's tough
that
to
he
be
went so late in the draft is because he has the talent. He's an elite talent for sure, first round talent.
You know what he does have going for him though is that he and Mayfield are both rookies, so
Exactly.
I think they played together a lot.
That's what I was gonna say is they have that rapport already,
Right.
Because backup QB and backup wide receiver.
Did all the reps
Yeah,
together.
and in the last preseason game as a punishment, they made Callaway play every single snap.
Right.
So it was just him and Mayfield all day, so.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
I have Callaway in 10 leagues. That's all I'm saying about Antonio Callaway.
Are those the 10 that you won this week?
Yeah.
I didn't start him anywhere. Wow.
You know what was amazing?
Oh, wow. What a shot that was.
Because he did score that touchdown against New Orleans last week, and that was a game that I was at the Superdome in New
Yeah,
Orleans.
how do you look then?
That was electric.
Yeah.
As soon as Tyrod threw that ball, the whole place went quiet, and that was amazing. I have to give it
He's
to
got
him. And
some
then he did some dancing. I love end zone celebrations.
Yeah.
I'm really glad
Yeah.
players are allowed to do that.
And
now.
with Callaway,
That's
he's
fun.
the deep threat as well.
Absolutely.
Because Jarvis Landry is the dink and dunk, get you extra yards after the catch.
And Landry
Yeah.
can't really run.
Yeah,
I mean, Callaway's
exactly.
the runner.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying this guy might become a thing.
Yeah.
He might.
Very, very
So,
soon. Here's one on a really bad team. Christian Kirk. You going to get him?
that one I'm going to hold off on.
All right.
Just because they did announce that Josh Rosen is starting.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it is still the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
Their offense looks atrocious.
Yep.
It does look bad. I'm grabbing him a little bit. I'm not spending money, a fab
Yeah.
or a waiver priority. But,
What's the news on Fitzgerald?
That's the thing. Fitz.
Everyone-
I think part of Fitz's problem is that he's 90.
He is not.
He's old.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was 89 last year, and he caught 100
This
receptions
is
or
true.
something.
And he's good in game 1 this year.
But he didn't have Sam Bradford trying to throw to him last year.
Jesus. Who threw to him last year? Was Carson
Carson
Palmer?
Palmer.
He's 100.
Yeah.
You're right. Keep an eye with Christian Kirk. You just don't know. Again, if Arizona finds a way with the new quarterback,
Yeah.
and if they fire Mike McCoy
Yeah.
anytime soon.
I still believe in Fitzgerald, actually, though,
I do
because no one's got heart like that guy.
Yeah.
He wants to play.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm waiting until Fitzgerald says I'm done.
Yeah.
Before I quit on Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Last possible waiver pickup, and to me, this is only if you're a McCoy owner, but Chris Ivory. He looked good this week. He did. And,
He
the
broke
McCoy.
one big run.
We have
Right.
not talked about the McCoy thing on the show much because I don't want to talk about it because it's gross. I just want to get into it. I want to get into football. McCoy,
his
the
off-the-field
whole off-the-field
stuff?
stuff is gross.
Yeah.
And on the field is on the Bills. So that's a whole other thing. I
Except for last week.
I try to avoid McCoy so often, but you're drafting. You're in the draft room, and it's the 5th round, and every good running back's off the board. McCoy's staring at you in the face. How do you not grab LaShawn
Yeah.
McCoy?
I have him on a
Former
couple
number
teams.
one.
I have him on 3 teams
Yeah.
because he's staring at me in the 5th round. How do you not grab him? I grabbed him.
I actually picked him up. Someone dropped him in a league I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't know what's going on with that, and again, you just don't want to get into it. But Chris Ivory could become relevant again this year. He looked very good this week. Also, don't sleep on Marcus Murphy. He's the other backup in Buffalo.
Yeah.
The thing with Buffalo, Josh Allen looked good.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he's a gunslinger. He's going to have 3 interception games. He might have 3 touchdown games too.
When he hurdled that
Yeah.
guy,
Yeah, that's pretty
I
impressive.
forget who it
Yeah.
was, but that's not a small guy.
No.
He was, 6'7", 6'8",
Yeah.
and he just hurdles him and keeps going. This is ridiculous.
It's cool to see these young rookie quarterbacks because it's they were picked
Yes.
in the first round for a reason.
Yep.
You forget how
and they're showing why.
Yeah, you forget how good of an athlete these guys are.
And that's what I was saying earlier about the whole rookie QB, just start him. Anybody who has him, Lamar Jackson, throw him in.
Yep.
Lamar Jackson, he'll be the QB of the
Oh
future.
yeah, Flacco needs to go.
I mean,
away.
Flacco looks like a decent quarterback
Yeah.
right now, but
Well, he's got a good offense. He's playing for a contract. What a
yeah, that's a
shock.
weird situation.
So,
That's
yeah.
a weird one.
All right, news and notes. So, Le'Veon Bell, rumors of being traded. The Jets might be
Jets,
interested.
yeah.
Of course, the Jets are interested. The Jets, who like their stars. I grew up in New York, so I know this. Brett Favre, Curtis Martin, who actually was good for them. But they like their over the hill stars. Now Bell's not over the hill.
Tomlinson.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Tom, I forgot about LT. So Le'Veon Bell again is still have the situation. Are you trading Connor? What are you doing if you have Connor now?
I think you just hold. You just hold on to him because he's.
Would you trade for him though?
I kind of, it's a murky area because it depends on your team need.
Yeah.
Because he's going to give you high RB2 numbers, low RB1 numbers because he's the guy in Pittsburgh.
Well, that's if he plays. When's he going to play? That's the thing.
No, we're talking
no,
about Connor,
I'm talking
right?
about Connor.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
Connor.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Connor.
Yeah. Like Bell, you don't even know if he's going to play this year.
Yeah.
You see,
Right.
TMZ released that picture of him on a jet ski in Miami, just hanging out.
Just to
Really?
give
I didn't see that.
just to give you an idea of
I should go follow TMZ.
Just to give you an idea of what Le'Veon Bell's trade value is right now. Last night I'm in a conversation with a player in one of our leagues, in a Vegas guy named Andrew Boostrom. It basically said to me, "Oh, I'll give you Crabtree for him."
Michael Crabtree.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so that
Did you do it? Did you pull the trigger?
No, I didn't do it. I'll hold him. I'm not going to give him away.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
sitting on IR. Let him sit on IR.
But the thing is, if he comes back for like the Jets, if he gets traded to the Jets, all of a sudden he's RB1.
All of a sudden you've got and if you have Connor,
if he comes back, he's an RB1.
and
no
if
matter
you-
what team it
and
is.
if it's a team that you have Connor, you've got two nice little running backs.
Thing is,
there.
if he starts playing for the Steelers, what's the split going to look like?
I don't know. I don't think there'll be a split, but I actually don't think he's going to play for the Steelers again.
I don't see it.
I don't see it. Now, even if he comes back, I see him sitting on the bench. I think Connor's your guy there. There's more to it than football right now with this. This is
Clearly,
about
yeah.
the locker room. It's about, the guy chose what he chose.
Yeah.
So I feel like this again. It's you just don't know. Everything in fantasy changes week to week.
Yep.
It's a wait and see situation. But I feel like if you are a Connor owner and if you're a Bell owner, you just kind of got to sit tight right now. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
Don't trade him. Don't. Now look.
What if
There's
you're
one
like
league. There's
0-3?
one league I'm offering Connor up. Like there's one league I offered him for Hunt because Hunt's been kind of having a down year, and the guy I think might be frustrated. He put everybody on his trading block. So I was like, oh, you know what? Let me throw Connor out there. See if you'll give me Hunt for him. I'll do that in a heartbeat. Why not?
Taking the RB from like the most explosive team, yeah.
Yeah, for Connor, who's been better than Hunt so far this year.
Right.
Yeah.
And you never
And
know.
I mean,
but
the Steelers also have a
That's a pretty
explosive offense
even
as well.
trade. I mean, that's
Yeah.
like
it's an even trade unless Connor becomes irrelevant. Then I stole him.
I don't see Connor becoming irrelevant though.
Yeah.
Even if Bell comes back, I think they're gonna have a split. That's why I asked that question.
I agree.
Yeah. That's a tough one. That's a
Yeah.
tough situation. But
It's tough.
okay, so here's a more interesting one. Let's say I'm my league that I'm 0-3 in. First two picks were Bell and Dalvin Cook. What do I do? I mean, I need to do something. I'm thinking of trying to trade Bell, maybe not for Michael Crabtree, but like, for
You're
like.
not going to get anything for Bell unless somebody's going to give you something very seriously for Bell. You're stuck.
But what about like a T.Y. Hilton or something?
You have T.Y. Hilton?
No, let's say I try and get.
I wouldn't give you T.Y. Hilton for Bell.
I wouldn't want T.Y. Hilton right now. The way that Andrew Luck played last week.
I would make the deal
I'm
if
just
somebody's
saying
gonna
that
give
sort
you
of
that.
mid-range
Yeah.
of like a guy
Oh, yeah.
with huge upside but hasn't been killing it. Like,
Absolutely, I would make the deal, but I don't think you're going to get it.
But you think it's worth it for me to put up Bell on the trade block and say, someone,
Yep.
help me out here.
You're 0-3. A good, when you're 0-3, and you got to look at like your points scored, and you got to look at what's wrong. Like I have 4 0-3 teams. 2 of them are just decimated by
Oh, yeah,
injuries.
you have
There's
Bell
nothing-
on that, yeah.
There's one I got Bell. I just lost Ingram. Green got hurt the other day. I have McCoy. I've got Baldwin. And I have Edelman.
Oh, yikes.
My entire team is on the bench
that's
doing
not good.
nothing. It's in last place. It's 0-3. So I tried to make a trade. I'm like, you know what? I can't make a trade with this team. I got no assets.
Right.
I have nothing to trade here.
Well,
so I have to just wait for everybody to get healthy and work the waiver wire and pray. And I lost Garoppolo in that league.
Oh, yeah.
Forget the, yeah.
I think, honestly, though,
Right?
that's the ideal team to trade Bell. Because you can hopefully get like and then you have to hit on whoever you get.
Who's gonna want
So
him?
let's say like
I don't want Crabtree for him.
I'm just saying, for example, I heard a stat on the radio this morning. Juju last year,
Mm-hmm.
through the first 4 games, was averaging like 5 points a game. Through the next 12 games or whatever, was averaging like 16.
Yeah.
You need to hit on someone like that.
You have to get lucky. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if that guy is available, and I don't know if that guy's going to trade him to you. Listen, put him up, see if somebody will give you something extreme for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't take anything less than like a wide receiver 2.
No, because there's no point.
Yeah.
Why would you make the trade? So he sits on IR anyway. He's on.
Yeah.
You get to put him on IR in most leagues, so put him
Yeah.
on IR. Another great first round pick that has panned out wonderfully is Leonard Fournette.
You love him.
Will he ever play?
I
Leonard,
mean,
seriously.
the last report I heard today was him and Yeldon are both day-to-day.
Isn't that wonderful? Yeah.
Fantasy football.
That's fantasy football at its finest. Fournette is, in a year where running backs are down, Fournette's a guy who could put up monstrous running back numbers.
I don't know what to say about the Jaguars because the 1 week Bortles has like 400 yards, and then the next week they put up 6 total points or something. Like what's
Against the Titans.
so variable? And what we're looking for in fantasy football is the opposite of variable. You want consistency.
It seems to me that one team in football that is so game flow dependent on fantasy numbers are the Jaguars. I feel like if the Jaguars are up against a team putting 30 up, they'll put 30 up. And they're up against a team putting 10 up, they'll put 9 up. Or 12.
It's
Not
like,
even whether they win or lose. It's just a matter of they don't seem to win 34-10. They could because they have the talent to, but it's just not
I see
their
what you're
way.
saying. So like based on how the game's going, that's how they do.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I don't think you can predict it. Now, I believe when Fournette comes back, if Fournette's healthy, Fournette will be a monster. I really believe it on this team. He will be an absolute stud. Keelan Cole's a nice little guy to have until Fournette gets back. But once Fournette gets back, I think every Jaguar
Cole did
receiver
nothing
becomes
this week,
irrelevant.
right?
He didn't do well. The whole team did nothing.
Yeah.
So, but I Fournette, you just you picked him first round, early second round.
It kills you when you have players that get like Cole. I think had like 4 fantasy points or something.
Yeah.
Maybe 5.
Yeah.
That ruins it. Like I lost the week because Philip Lindsay got ejected. You can't predict that, but it's like when a player gets you 2 points, you can have a killer week otherwise, but that one player single-handedly loses you the week.
I lost.
Same with Chris Hogan. Like he's killing you if you have him.
I lost one because of Bailey.
Oh my god! I put Bailey on a couple lineups and I lost because of him as well. It's like one of those things where if any of 10 different things could have happened differently, he would have won. And one of them is Bailey getting even one chance at a kick. He didn't even enter the field, right? No extra points, no field goals. They went for 2.
Nope.
On the one touchdown they
nothing.
got.
Yep.
You were screwed. If
How
you had Dan Bailey.
about Dan Bailey the rest of the season though?
Oh, fine. That offense is prolific. That offense has got some. They've got some talent. I'm not worried about
scored
that.
0 points through 3 quarters.
Yeah, well, they got to figure it out.
I think they will though.
Yeah. Speaking of Minnesota, Dalvin Cook. I say he's 50-50 to play on Thursday night. I don't know what to expect with him.
Day-to-day
It's
as
another
well.
guy though. You drafted him in the second round,
gotta
and you're
play
not
him.
getting at it. You're not getting crap out of him right now.
It's a weird week though because they're on a short week. They're playing against the best team in football, the Rams.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I think they might still lean heavier on Latavius this week.
Yeah, I think actually you're better off if he doesn't play. Let him
Yeah.
sit another week out and be ready for week 5.
Yeah.
I heard they held him out this week with the knowledge that they're playing on Thursday. So they were thinking a week in advance. They're saying there's no reason to put him out against the Bills if we have to play again in 4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a wait and see with him. He practiced today, though, so that says a lot. Let's see if he's out there. We mentioned A.J. Green already. Marcus Mariota, I don't even want to spend time on it.
Yeah.
If you have Marcus Mariota, why do you have Marcus Mariota?
Yeah, you might as well drop him.
Just move. I mean, if you're I have one super flex league where I have him, but I have Mayfield in that league, so thank goodness for that.
There's
Because
so
Mariota
many...
can go to my bench
You might as well
and
just
stay there.
Can you pick up like a Case Keenum or something?
Oh, in a super flex league, you can't
they're
find a
all
guy
gone.
like that. They're gone. Super flex leagues quarterbacks are gone.
Even like Sam Darnold, Josh
Gone.
Allen,
Gone.
Josh Rosen.
Gone. Jameis gone. In a super flex league, gone.
Don't worry, he's not going to play.
There's always Josh McCown.
Josh McCown's available.
He really will not
I mean,
play.
yeah, you can stash backups. Like, I'll tell you, like Lamar Jackson's available in all those leagues, but like you're gonna stash him and hope and pray that.
Yeah.
What about
gets hurt? You don't want to do that.
what's his name? Drew Stanton.
Is he playing?
No, but he's the backup to Mayfield now.
Is he? No, Tyrod Taylor is still.
Isn't he concussed?
Yeah, but it's 1 week. I mean, now
Yeah.
Taylor is going to get dropped in a lot of leagues. Now that is a guy.
Interesting.
Just to maybe. But,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Mariota, move on. Mixon, we talked about too. We don't know.
I love Mixon. I think when he comes back, he's going to be.
He looks really good this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Bengals somehow are like doing great. Well, I guess they're not healthy now, but we'll see.
During the season, the Bengals always look okay, like good, better than okay, and then it comes crunch time, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
Something
Then they turn into the Bengals again. Yep. DNA.
DNA. Something to look at though with teams is play callers and offensive coordinators, and the Bengals brought a new one in who's creative, and it shows. Their offense is highly improved. It's nice that they're not, they don't have to rely on Jeremy Hill for the first 10 carries of a game to get you 20 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that they want Mixon to be the guy.
They do.
And they want Gio to do his thing on third down.
Yeah. So obviously it's just a matter of whether or not Mixon playing this Sunday. If you get one more week out of Gio, that's nice. Probably Mixon week 5 is what we're looking at.
Yeah.
We talked about LaShawn McCoy. We may not play. Devontae Freeman, another high pick that is not playing.
Yeah. Tevin Coleman, man, he's a baller.
And the thing is, if he does, because he has a chance to come back this week, and even if he does, it's going to be a split. It's going to be a split between him and Coleman.
Yeah.
Like there's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. Like Coleman's doing really well. Freeman's your starter. It's gonna be a dead even split.
Looks that way. Freeman's
that's an unfortunate one. I mean,
that's a tough
you're not
one.
going to drop him.
I
would trade. You want to trade me Freeman for like Chris Hogan?
Do I have Do I have Freeman to trade you?
Well, I'm just saying, like, he's injured and not playing, but I still like him.
We're gonna trade him for Chris Hogan. I would consider it. I would consider that, although I don't think. Yeah.
I'm just saying. I think
that's a good hypothetical trade.
On that level,
Freeman for Hogan.
On that level.
Yep.
Yeah.
Two guys that are high picks, disappointing, and could bounce back. Look, we know what Freeman's talent is, though. Freeman can win you weeks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, here's a good question we should get into here. So, the Indianapolis Colts need a Hail Mary at the end of their game, and they throw it, but it isn't Andrew Luck throwing it, it's Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
So, what does that tell you? It shows you that Luck's arm strength isn't back. Hopefully not hurt. Maybe it's just an arm strength issue. Let's hope. But what do you do? Obviously, if you're in a super flex league, you're stuck. You got Luck.
Yeah.
But in a one quarterback league, do you treat Luck as a quarterback 2 now?
Yeah, I would.
I never treated him as a QB1 anyway, so that's an easy answer for me.
Yeah. Just the offense itself, too. They're another one of those. They don't have a backfield.
I like dynasty or keeper leagues, Nyheim Hines. I think he's kind of the next generation of Chris Thompson types,
Yeah.
Gio Bernard, like I forget how many passes he caught, but it was more than 1 or 2. He caught like 4 or 5.
He's the RB to own in Indianapolis.
Yeah, Jordan Wilkins.
Yeah, Marlon Mack too. He may come back, but he never comes back.
I think Mack is coming back because they cut Kristen Michael.
Right, and also don't forget Robert Turbin, who doesn't seem to go away either. He's coming back from suspension. But if there's ever one team that Le'Veon Bell makes sense to, that's one.
Oh,
yeah. That is one.
You put him with Luck.
If the Jets inquired, I would guess some other teams did too, because the Jets have 2 good running backs.
The only thing is, if the Steelers were to move Bell, I don't think they would want him in the AFC.
Keep it in the AFC, yeah.
They may not have options to make that decision. And the thing is, you hold him for the year. Next year he gets to sign where he wants anyway. Yeah. So what's the difference? You might as well still get value. I don't think the Steelers can decide where they want to put him.
The Colts are not winning this year anyway, though. You think they're going to spend the money that they're going to have to spend on Bell just to have him for a year?
Yes, the Colts make bad decisions.
Oh, that's true. That's their DNA.
That's that is their DNA. They have an owner who likes stars, Jim Irsay. You never know, but they do need a running back. And Luck right now, if they're doing this dink and dunk offense, actually Bell's a good fit for that team.
That would be great, yeah.
And that's an offense that'll really produce, and it'll help T.Y. Hilton.
All of a sudden,
big time.
Yeah. I think that's how Andrew Luck's going to have to get value is like throwing short passes and then having his receivers make yards after the catch, make a move.
I mean, he does have Ebron there too for that,
and Doyle is pretty good too.
There, yeah.
The other, but the thing was with Indianapolis is not just Luck; they have no weapons. Hilton is your one; he's good, but your two's Ryan Grant.
Yeah,
not good.
No,
and we don't even know who their 3 is. Chester Rogers,
right?
Who's he? Right. So you have, and then you're going a lot with 2 tight end sets with Ebron and Doyle. That's part of the thing with them is they need a deep threat. Des Bryant's still out there. It's amazing that it's late September and Des Bryant's still
yeah, that is pretty amazing.
Available.
I forgot about him.
What does that tell you about Des Bryant?
Yep.
People really don't want him.
They don't want him. He would be a good fit there too. All right, so we're getting toward the end here. A few start-sit questions. It's hard to, we don't really have questions from the audience here, but we're gonna. But this is why we've got Tom and Steve here with start-sit issues. So, what are some of the regular start-sit issues you've been having this year? Tom, we'll start.
Alex Collins.
Yeah, he's a tough one.
Versus
Anybody else I have on my bench, because he has the talent for that team and the running ability, but he's not being used how he should be used.
He's like Mr. Flex.
Yeah,
he fits in the flex.
So who are your options?
All right, let me see. Let me
I have
bring
the
up my
same issue
You have
with
the
him.
same Alex Collins
so,
issue?
Yeah, for example, I have Alex Collins or Philip Lindsay.
Yeah, that's tough. I have Alex Collins in one league, and I've yet to play him because my running backs are Barkley, Connor, and Howard. So it's not even a question. I don't play Collins in that league. I don't need him.
But still, Alex Collins, his fantasy points per week have steadily gone up.
Yeah, like he's getting the yards and the carries, but Buck Allen's coming in and taking the touchdowns from him.
Buck Allen scored 4 touchdowns in 3 games?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But Collins looks good. You just look,
bad.
if you watch the game, you're looking at what you're looking at. The guy looks good.
Yeah.
That's why I don't get
it. He does.
Looks like Marshawn Lynch. I love
enigma.
him.
Yeah, when Lynch is producing this year.
Yeah.
How you like that? Marshawn Lynch.
That's because Gruden loves his running
He loves his running
Yeah,
backs.
that makes sense.
Collins it's a tough call though with him.
Like for me, I have Collins. This is for my flex spot. Collins, Philip Lindsay, Quincy, or Bilal Powell.
That's a tough one every week.
I think Collins is going to score some touchdowns eventually.
Yeah.
I think the Ravens offense is better than people are giving him credit for. John Brown's stretching the field. Crabtree is always a threat. And then the 1-2 punch of Allen and Collins is pretty good.
Yeah.
The one guy I would take out of that is Powell, because Powell's he's at mid RB2 at best.
The Jets hate Bilal Powell.
Yeah, and Crowell's the goal line back. You're not going to get a ton out of Powell. I think Enumla is, most games going to give you a lot.
Yeah.
But this, they're playing Jacksonville this week, so I don't know about Enumla this week.
True.
That's a bad one. But Collins is the most talented out of that group, without a doubt. What about you, Steve? Start-sit issues.
Well, I've been having start-sit issues with Chris Hogan, but I think the answer now is sit.
That's right now it's sit.
As of right now, yeah.
Right now it's sit.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I did a lot of waiver wire action this past week, so I have a lot of shares of Corey Clement, a lot of shares of Latavius Murray, a lot of Gio Bernard.
Okay.
I have a lot of Kenny Stills. What the hell do you do with that guy? Exactly.
This week you might want to start him because they're playing against the
Patriots. Yeah, I'd start Kenny Stills this week.
But that means you're banking on Ryan Tannehill, and I hate Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill looks pretty darn decent this year. I know. Yeah, I know. Ringing endorsement. Darn decent. He looks pretty darn decent. No,
you second guessed yourself before you even finished the sentence.
I was gonna say he looks pretty darn good. Tannehill, don't sleep on it. Not bad. Creative offense, although if you're a Drake owner, it's a pain in the ass offense. But Tannehill is not bad, and Stills is still the target guy there.
I might have to fire him up this week because I don't think Clement's gonna. I think Ajayi or Sproles. Some combination of them can come back.
Yeah, I like Stills a little bit more than I usually do. I've had a regular start-sit issue with Hogan too, and this week it was Deion Lewis, James White, Chris Hogan picks 2, and now I can put Chris Godwin in that equation. And right now the obvious starters for me are James White and Chris Godwin, so it's not even a question that Deion Lewis has to sit.
Yeah, who would have thought Chris Godwin is consistent? And
if you have Deion Lewis, I have Deion Lewis a lot of leagues,
too.
And I have to bench him until Mariota figures this out.
Yeah.
Now apparently this injury is not for the rest of the year, but he's got to figure it out.
Ooh, here's an interesting one.
All right.
Cooper Kupp, Marvin Jones, Will Fuller.
I'm not sitting Fuller until Fuller gets hurt.
No.
So you're just firing. You're
I'm
putting-
firing.
No,
Fuller to
Fuller.
me. Will Fuller to me is an every week starter. If you've seen this guy's numbers with Deshaun Watson,
Yeah, that's
he
true.
doesn't miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
And
gets
Deshaun's back to being Deshaun.
Yep.
He had a good week
And-
this week against the
and
Giants.
with
But
Hopkins
for the
on his other side, he's relieving the pressure off of
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
You know what? Okay, I have a funny situation because in this one league, I have Hopkins, who's my first pick.
Oh.
So I have Hopkins and Fuller. So that's the same
That's a tough one.
because they can't. I mean, can they both kill it?
No, I think both of that's one of the rare instances about having two wide receivers.
And then
Yeah.
you're just gunning on
'Cause
Deshaun having like
yeah.
a 400-yard game.
Well, you know,
Who are they playing this week?
they're playing Indianapolis.
Oh.
You know, and here's the thing.
That's a good matchup.
Yeah, and Indy's defense is a little better. You know, what's good about Houston is that you know who their producers are going to be, unless it's Alfred Blue stealing a touchdown from Lamar Miller. But for the
Right.
most part, it's Hopkins, Fuller, Miller.
Yep.
Yeah.
So start him.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting Fuller right now. I can't sit Fuller. I don't
neither.
have Fuller anywhere.
guess if you play-
and Fuller's going to get hurt by week 7 anyway. You know,
Don't put that in the air.
well, he gets hurt every year.
DNA.
Right? DNA. Gets hurt every year.
Gets hurt.
But you know what? When he
Wait.
plays, 100 yards and a touchdown almost every week with Deshaun.
Yeah.
You,
I guess
you fire him up.
the counterpoint to that is if you play both Hopkins and Fuller, you're banking on at least one of them going off.
Yeah.
You know, one of them having 100 yards and a touchdown.
Okay, I
Yep.
got one more
Almost
for you.
guaranteed.
One more. Yep.
I got Tyler Lockett versus Tyler Boyd.
Lock it.
Lockett is
Well, you know, if AJ Green doesn't play, then Boyd.
Yeah, because Boyd's going against Atlanta.
Well, now here's the thing, though. Seattle's playing Arizona. That's a game flow issue.
Yeah.
That game flow is going to be putrid.
That's where.
So I would probably go Boyd in that
I feel
situation.
like
if that's
every
Boyd.
game flow with Seattle's going to be putrid. They just have a weird team like that.
Well, more Arizona is what I'm worried about. I think Seattle could put points up in a game where they need to put points up because Russell's as good as he is.
You know what? You know why I like Lockett, actually? They said he has similar physical attributes to Antonio Brown. Same size, weight, and speed.
Yeah.
So he creates points for you. He'll catch the ball and then run 50 yards.
Yeah, and he's the return guy too.
Yeah.
So he'll give you.
Yeah, there's always
If you have a return
too.
yard league, I have Lockett in 2 leagues. One is not a return yards league, and the one I don't have, the one that he's not a return yards league, I am offering him, and that's one of my 0-3 teams. I'm
yeah.
offering him everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
trying to trade him now because when Baldwin gets back, I think Lockett becomes.
Think
in.
Baldwin's coming back?
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's not out for the year, and Baldwin is going to get 15 targets a game on that team
I think Baldwin's going to come in and be a decoy for at least a week.
for 1 week, maybe. But
Because
he's
got
come back
both,
and be serious.
both knees, right? Both
Yeah.
of his knees.
Yeah,
are
but
shot.
well, one's going to heal while the other one's injured. So there you go.
That's not how the NFL works. It's going to get tackled and it's going to go to the hospital.
I'm a big dog Baldwin fan, and I better be because I have him in 3 leagues. God help me. So, yeah. By the way, I lost 4 leagues this week by less than 5 points. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Where's your violin?
I
You have a
lost one,
violin
too.
you can play for me here?
Is there no patch in your keyboard for a
That is
violin?
the worst violin. That's your violin? That's what you got?
That's a violin. Oh, Jesus.
I lost 4 leagues by less than 5 points this week.
What does that sound like? It's like a Halloween violin or something.
Horrible.
You were pretty close to that.
Yeah, I know. Actually, this was a real. I feel like this happens every year. It's like this year though. This is the craziest year.
Every year's crazy.
Yeah, but the way you lost is pretty bad. Losing
That
by
was bad.
1 point or less than a point. That's rough.
You believe in karma, and if I have to lose in week 3, let me lose in week 3, and let me, win a bunch in week 6 when I need them by
Thing
less
is,
than 5 points.
people are panicking too early. It's 3 weeks. 0-3.
0-3 is rough though. 0-3, you got to get a move on. Look,
Yeah.
you have
Like-
6 losses allowed in fantasy football, so
Yeah.
you're halfway there if you're 0-3.
Yeah.
Right? You lose 4. I mean, you don't come back from that. So you got to get a move on. You got to go win
You need
this
to
week.
catch fire somehow.
Yeah. So, and we got one more thing to do, and then we're going to call it quits this week. A little bit of a long show, but it's 3 of us this week, so we're giving you a little more stuff here. It's our weekly fantasy football burial. This one breaks my heart, big time. I had him in nearly every Superflex league, 1 quarterback leagues. Tonight, we bury Jimmy Garoppolo. Dearly beloved, We are gathered here today to bury the fantasy football 2018 season of Jimmy Garoppolo and the San Francisco 49ers. Jimmy, you looked so good, so promising, so young, so vibrant.
Jeez, you coming on to him or what?
And now you're dead in fantasy, not in life.
Yeah.
But you're gone. We hardly knew you, Jimmy G. Garoppolo. Jimmy G. Jimmy G.
Jimmy G. Garoppolo.
We hardly knew you.
His middle name's G as well.
May you rest in peace for the 2018 season. We love you, Jimmy.
He's got a nice jawline. I'll give him that. He's a good-looking kid.
I guess the G in Jimmy G stands for gone.
Gone.
And you know who might get buried with them?
Marquise Goodwin.
Marquise Goodwin.
Yeah, George Kittle.
I'll tell you who was a sneaky pickup this week.
C.J. Beathard.
No, Pierre Garçon. If he's available, if somebody dropped him, or somebody's impatient, because
Why? He catches a lot of passes?
Beathard liked him last year. Sneaky little pickup might be Pierre Garçon.
Okay.
He was good last year with Beathard.
You think Goodwin's worth playing? I have him stashed.
I think you gotta wait. I think
how
if
it
you
pans
have
out.
Goodwin, you gotta sit him this week, and you gotta wait. You just have to. You don't know what they're gonna look like.
Yeah.
You know if they're gonna bring in a quarterback. You don't know what they're gonna do. And you don't know what Beathard is. If Beathard in a year, if he grew up, if he got a little better, we don't know.
I read that Tom Savage is the #1 prospect right now.
Yeah, that doesn't.
So that's not good for
That
them.
does not. Yeah, that does not inspire confidence in the San Francisco 49ers.
But there was...
Yeah.
Tom Savage, that's a name. That's a name right
That's
there.
a
He sounds
name,
like a
brother.
porn star.
Good grief. Tom Savage. I say former wrestler, but we already had a wrestler named Savage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
no,
Tom
but he
Savage.
is not a good professional football player.
I think he's the third Savage brother, right?
Yeah, after
Is Fred and Ben
yeah,
and
yeah.
then
Oh my.
Tom.
Oh my. We're going deep cut on that. And ladies and gentlemen, that's how we're going to end this edition of Our Vegas Fantasy. Want to say thank you to the Space. And you heard a lot of entertainment in the background. There's a lot of great stuff here at the Space here with Mark Chinook. Want to say thank you to Ken Bulkey, who is doing our engineering.
Thanks
He's a
again.
great engineer. And I want to say thank you. We miss you, Christina Shaw, but we needed 2 people to replace you. Thank you to Tom
Hey.
and Steve.
What's Tom's last name?
What's Tom's last name?
Go, Kenny.
See if you remember it an hour later.
Bye, everybody.
Okay.